I mean, it's shocking. In many ways, I'm quite glad for like new media and all of that, because I can imagine how many people in the past have been victim to the kind of stunts that Blake Lively and her husband have pulled, now apparently in conjunction with Taylor Swift, who has oddly decided to distance herself from the couple, which is an interesting development. Look, I went through the 160-page timeline and evidence document that Justin published on his website in detail, as well as what he presented to the court, because it was fascinating.
It was fascinating.
I mean, if even only half of what he's saying is true, Blake Lively is a complete nightmare. This is an actress that was hired to be in the film, and yet she's asking the director, who's also her lead, for the cuts and the edits, and she's decided to take over the wardrobe, and she gets to choose her wardrobe and they pay for it. That's unprecedented. No one's ever heard of that. And then she has the audacity to call her husband and Taylor Swift her dragons, and that Justin Baldoni and the producer tried to sexually harass this woman, this Mad Hatter, who no sane man would go near with a 10-foot barge pole. It is so offensive and so ridiculous. I mean, I urge everyone to just read through everything that Justin Baldoni
it is utterly
shocking.
It's compelling.
Shocking.
I mean, it's
Blake Lively makes a shocking revelation in her revised complaint, saying that 2 additional actors from the film Ends With Us are supporting her. These anonymous celebrities are purportedly prepared to reveal the same information, portraying Justin Baldwin as a very troublesome person. However, would The Hollywood Reporter dare to report on this developing storm? Meanwhile, Piers Morgan, who never shied away from controversy, set his eyes on Hollywood and entered
sort of unprecedented that stars of this magnitude would dish it all out in public to this extent. I mean, she began with, I think, the New York Times, very well orchestrated, obviously, onslaught against him. And I read all that and thought, wow, poor Blake Lively. I've got to say, I'm not really thinking that now. The more I read about this, the more I think stain on all your gruesome houses. The publicists involved, the actors involved, everybody involved seems to be absolutely horrible.
Well, you say we haven't seen it before, but we kind of have with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And
well, that's true, yeah, but that only came out in the end in court, right?
And, I mean, that was Johnny did something I think a lot of people took notes to. Like,
yeah, that's true.
A receipt, he dropped all the evidence, and I think Team Justin, which, you know, same PR rep who repped Johnny, it was behind this. Blake sort of saw that as, oh, you're trying to use an Amber Heard tactic, but she didn't even realize, like, that's not a good defense. That means you're guilty because Blake, Amber lied. It's been astonishing. Like, I just jumped off my live. We had 30,000 people watching the new Hero.
This time, Morgan targeted Lively in a furious live TV showdown. Morgan didn't hold back, tearing into Lively in a way that left viewers gasping. The heated exchange erupted online, with both fans and critics taking sides. Lively attempted to defend herself, but Morgan's razor-sharp remarks left her momentarily stunned, making this one of the most talked-about TV confrontations in recent memory. And let's not forget the film, which, at the center of all this chaos, is based on Colleen Hoover's 2016 blockbuster novel The Story, which explores deep, gut-wrenching themes while addressing domestic turmoil and misconduct in a way that has resonated with millions of people. Given the raw emotional weight of the film marketing, Lively's portrayal of Lily Bloom, a woman enmeshed in a love story that devolves from passion into complete chaos, was always going to be challenging. But this is where things get messy. According to some critics, Lively's promotional strategies fell flat. Given the extremely delicate subject matter, many claim that the approach came across as tone-deaf. With all of this criticism, it is still unclear if the movie will weather the storm that is engulfing it. We mark the conclusion of Blake Lively's promotional rollout. Went off the rails fast, like, for instance, her hair care line La Launch, which had people scratching their heads, and the introduction of themed cocktails, including one named Rye Riley. You wait reference to the film's deeply problematic character. These marketing moves didn't just miss the mark, they set off a firestorm. Critics slammed the promotions, calling them tone-deaf cash grabs that trivialized the film's powerful message. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't about the story's harrowing themes. It was about whether the entire campaign was just a money-making spectacle, but Lively she's standing firm. He's made it clear that her involvement in it ends with us isn't just about playing Lily Bloom. He was running the show behind the scenes too. She took on major producer duties and isn't shy about making that known. And in her own words, the work I did as a producer was far more all-consuming than anything I did playing Lily. I just did it all. There's nothing I didn't touch on in this film. and then enter Justin Baldoni's side of the story. According to him, Lively wasn't just shaping the film, she was pulling some serious strings behind the scenes. He claims she wanted to rework a pivotal rooftop scene and went all out to make it happen.
To talk about this picture that Ryan Reynolds posted last night. Yes, right after their very first pre-trial, Ryan posts this selfie of him and Blake on his Instagram stories, basically telling us there's nothing wrong, everything is fine. I find it funny in Blake Lively's complaint, she says she has so much anxiety and pain from this smear campaign that she can't even go outside, which is obviously a lie because she's outside right now and smiling. And what annoys me the most is they've yet to put out an apology for anything. Any of those rude interviews, the blackface. Not a single apology, but we know they know how to write apologies because they wrote one for Justin Baldoni. But they seem to be so privileged that they think we are all wrong. Like we are not all reading the same things they are reading. As if we don't have the evidence, we do. Like Baldoni's team took your 84-page complaint and tripled it. But I'm still patiently waiting on the amended filings from Blake Lively's team. They claim to have more evidence, so let's see what they didn't include in their bombshell news.
How? By allegedly bringing in her A-list, Circle, including Ryan Reynolds and none other than Taylor Swift. This is when things get crazy. Baldoni claims that after being invited to Lively's opulent penthouse in New York for a discussion, Swift abruptly showed up and complimented Lively's script, gently nudging things in Lively's direction. He feels as though Lively has purposefully used Swift's celebrity to further her own creative vision.
Well, Blake No Teeth Lively has experienced yet another court loss. So she wanted to amend her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, right? The judge said, okay, cool, you have until Valentine's Day, February 14th. And now Blake Lively was like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, we're not ready to present yet. And she was asking for an extension until March 5th. And then the judge said, okay, why? And she's like, duh, because I'm Khaleesi and I said so. And then the judge was like, LOL, yeah, no, I'll give you until Monday. I'll give you a couple extra days. You have until Monday, but you don't have until March 5th. And so now she has until this upcoming Monday, which is February 17th, to figure out what she's going to amend in her complaint. And initially there were rumors that the amendment was going to come with some sort of statement from Jenny Slate, who played Justin Baldoni's sister in It Ends With Us. And so people were assuming that maybe Jenny was going to be some sort of star witness, that this was going to be the smoking gun. Maybe she had something that she witnessed that she was going to bring to the table, right? Well, then all the internet sleuths went and dug up an old interview that she did on the Anna Faris podcast where she basically pokes fun at hitting her ex-boyfriend, which doesn't really make her a strong star witness after all, which may possibly be why Blake's team is now asking for this extension, because what they were planning on bringing to the table.
If this is accurate, this was not just a simple pitch. Rather, it was a power move on a whole new level. And just when you thought that saga couldn't get any more messy, Baldoni drops another bombshell. He says that Lively didn't just push for creative control. He also allegedly played hardball with Taylor Swift's music, implying that the trailer for the movie wouldn't feature Swift's melancholy song, My Tears, unless her demands were fulfilled. If this is accurate, Lively may have been using her close friendship with Swift to pressure production into complying with her demands. But wait, it gets worse. Baldoni even cites a text exchange with a Sony executive in which she allegedly linked Lively's approval of the trailer to her degree of creative involvement. Lively's alleged behind-the-scenes power tactics aren't the only thing causing her bad press. According to sources, she has a habit of acting problematically on set for a small favor. Rumors of bullying started to circulate, with some insiders claiming that she helped create a toxic work environment. Assistant director Barbara Seaman even resigned over the incident, later stating that Lively's alleged actions left her feeling upset and exhausted. Now, these resurfacing claims combined with the legal drama surrounding Lively are questioning how she treats her co-stars and crew. And if that wasn't enough, an old 2016 interview has been unearthed, and it's not helping her. When Lively was asked about her pregnancy and her role in Cafe Society, the journalist who was involved didn't hold back, calling the experience a nightmare and describing an unbearable tension throughout their exchange with all these allegations piling up.
Ruled on the Wayfarer party's request to squash subpoenas, and they got a big win, not a unilateral win, because the goddess of gaslighting did score a narrow victory as well. I've got the judge's ruling, and let's go over it together. All right, Judge Lyman writes, Wayfarer Studios, LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, It Ends With Us Movie, LLC, Melissa Nathan, The Agency Group, and Jennifer Abel moved to squash subpoenas issued to cellular providers AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile by Blake Lively. For the reasons that follow, the motion is granted in part and denied in part. Lively served the subpoenas on or around February 12th. The subpoenas requested all documents concerning ingoing and outgoing calls or text messages related to telephone numbers belonging to certain Wayfarer parties and related individuals.
Lively's responses in the interview were criticized as sarcastic and dismissive. Lively's reputation is in shambles, and it's unclear if she will recover from everything or if the damage has already been done. The resurfaced interview only served to fuel the fire, making Lively's already difficult promotional efforts even more difficult to handle. Now the legal battle between her and Blake Lively is over. New developments about co-star Justin Baldoni have suddenly exploded. In an attempt to present new evidence against Baldoni, Lively's legal team rushed to obtain an extension for filing an amended complaint. However, the judge rejected their request, making it clear that the case must proceed according to its timeline. Meanwhile, Lively is intensifying her complaint, claiming that several women voiced grave concerns about Valon's conduct on set, intensifying the controversy surrounding him. This is where things get messy. Insiders are now protesting, claiming two actresses that Lively purportedly mentioned had issues with Baldoni were later refuted by sources as being wholly untrue. Lively insists that she was merely defending those who were uneasy, but opponents are accusing her of. According to sources, Jenny Slate and Isabella Farr were the two actresses involved in this, although they reportedly never wanted their names to be made public at first. Lively's amended lawsuit did not name them out of respect for their privacy. However, when her claims began to face serious skepticism, their names suddenly surfaced the following day. A spokesperson for Lively insists that these women gave their permission to share their communications, but many disagree, believing that they were singled out to support Lively's case and divert attention away from her and Ryan Reynolds.